Hello everyone, welcome back. So in our Appium series, today we are going to see the hybrid application, or how do you really inspect the elements and automate the hybrid application for the Android applications. Okay, so in our previous session we have seen how to really inspect and automate the iOS hybrid applications, right? Now today we are going to see for the Android, the concept remains same. Like, hybrid means it is actually rendering the web components on top of your Android native application. Actually, it is for the ease of updating the your application to the stores, so that you don't really need to write the code and then recompile it. For the web views, normally the benefit is that you just change it from the backend and your app will be loading the latest code or the latest web view components as you open it. So that is the benefit. And then we have seen the documentation from the Appium side, what is the in scope and out of scope for that. Like for the Android apps, if you see that it says that you can use the built-in hybrid support via Chrome driver, so you don't need to really worry about that. But then for any Android mobile application that is a hybrid, they need to just make sure this one thing actually. So what exactly they need to do from the development standpoint, they need to make sure that the set web contents debugging enabled. So this is one of the property they need to put inside this Android WebKit web view element. So it is like a a development concept. So whenever they are adding this element, right, they need to check this property, and this property is by default available for the Android developers. They just need to make it as true so that you can inspect those elements. So that is one of the flag that Appium is looking for whenever you are inspecting the Android hybrid applications. So if any of the hybrid applications in your organization you are inspecting by using Appium inspector, and if it is not inspecting, make sure that this property is enabled or set it as true in your code. From the development, you can talk to the developer and make sure that that is just one thing. The rest everything we will discuss it from a testing standpoint. Okay, so for this we need the Android simulator and then one of the Android hybrid application. So as we have picked up the iOS hybrid application from the WebDriver IO, right? The same thing they are providing an Android application as well. The format is .apk. You simply click on that, it will download the .apk file, and after you downloaded that, you need to launch your Android simulator, drag it to the simulator to install it. Now I have installed already in my simulator, but let me launch my Android simulator. So I will go to the Android Studio. So you must have installed to set up the Android simulator, right? If you are not sure how to do that, you can refer to our previous sessions and you will get an idea. Now you can click on the more actions, and here you will see something called as virtual device manager. For SDK manager, if you want to download the latest OS into your simulator, or certain components of the Android simulator if you want to install, you can use the SDK manager. So click on the virtual device manager and you will get the virtual the device manager list. So out of these two simulators which I have already predetermined, on that I will be just taking, this is my latest one, so I will be just clicking on that. This is holding the Android 12.0, the latest version so far, and I have already dragged this particular .apk file. Now I can simply close this. Now this is my simulator, and if you go inside, right, you should see this WDIO demo application. It is pretty much similar to what we have seen in our iOS hybrid application as well. So you get the native home screen, and after that you click on this web view. Once you get it, this is my web view, and this entire bottom navigation bar is your native application, and you can go inside. You can click on this. These are all web view components. So you can change the theme to from dark to light and all those things. Okay, and you can click on this get started button. You can click it. You can go back to the home screen. These are all web view components only. And if you go to the login, it is again your native context only. We will see how we can identify this by using the Appium inspector. So for this, I will be launching my Appium inspector, and this is my Appium inspector, and I will be setting up. So these are my the Appium capabilities. You can see the Appium platform version. I'm using the 12.0, that is the my simulator OS version, and this is my the simulator name. If you're not sure, you can launch the simulator and you can run a command adb devices. How to set up the adb? We have a blog, I will share that with you guys. And you can see that emulator 554, I don't know why it is showing as now if it is showing as a device, it means that it is already available. So like that you can get it. The automation name for iOS, it is XQtest. For Android, it is UI Automator 2. No reset equal to true, so it will not install every time. App package and app activity, I have got it from the repo itself, but you can talk to your developer to get that. And the platform name is Android. And native web screenshot equal to true. It means that if sometimes you want to take a screenshot of the native native view, you can take that. This is optional as we discussed last time. And I will be clicking on the start session, and it is showing one error. The reason is that we need the Appium server to be up and running, because this is my Appium 2.0, right, the latest version. So I will be clicking on this Appium. See, at this moment, I don't want to just simply run the Appium. I want to run it with a command line option. Why? I will show you. So when for the first time, right, if you use that, you will get like this one issue. Okay, whenever you run this with just Appium and you run this Appium server and click on that particular Appium inspector, as soon as you go from the native view to the web view, right, this is the button which we have discussed already. Okay, so like if you go here, this is your web view, right? When you click it, it will give you this error actually, call to switch context failed. Now the thing is that Android web view uses the Chrome driver to support that. If your Chrome driver is not updated based on the Chrome driver it need, actually it will throw this, and it is telling that no Chrome driver found that can automate Chrome. So the Chrome version is 91 on my browser. Actually it is the Android device browser, not my desktop browser. Desktop browser is not at all related here. So when I'm installing the Appium UI Automator 2, right, that time this Chrome driver will be installed. Maybe it was pretty old for me, but then the device browser, the mobile browser which I'm using, or the simulator browser, need this 91 version. So it is telling that you can go back to this link to get more information, like how do you download the Chrome version and all those things. I have already gone into this and I read these things. If you want to download that specific version, you can use this command, Appium Chrome driver executable, and the path of the Chrome driver. You can keep it into the download folder or any temporary folder of your machine. You can do that. But there is another option as well where you can automatically download. So it will discover what is the browser version and specific browser driver it will download. So for that you need this particular command actually. So Appium allow insecure Chrome driver auto download. So you are telling Appium that you can download this Chrome driver based on your need. I am giving that full freedom on that. So instead of Appium, I will run this entire command and it will auto detect the browser version and it will download the browser driver. Okay, that's it. Whenever there is an updated browser it is getting, it will download the respective browser driver. Fine. Now Appium server is running. So let me go back to the Appium inspector. And side by side, let me keep the Android simulator as well, and it shouldn't be throwing me error if I do a start session. Your app package and app activity has to be identified or you would have mentioned properly. Okay, and you can see that it is coming, the mirror version of my simulator mobile application, and I can simply click on this home button and everything, and you can see everything is coming correct. Now let me go back to the web view. Okay, and click on this web view. sorry, refresh it, because I have already changed this. And if I go here, and you can see that this is still all the Android components only, Android widget components. It means that we haven't really switched to the web mode. Now for that, is always, let's click on this particular tab, and then you will see that so Appium Inspector auto detects the current screen is really holding what are the different contexts. Is it web view is also holding? Yes, it is holding. So you can see that a new context is generated along with the native app. So I will just click it, and at this moment you will be getting that error if your Chrome driver is not downloaded properly, because I have downloaded by using this particular command, right? So it won't throw any error, this insecure Chrome download option. Fine. So now I'm into this actually. So you go here and you can see that everything, it should, okay, now you can, yeah, sometimes it takes some time actually, sometimes it won't detect it, as there was a notification alert, right, last time we have seen in the iOS side, that the Appium Inspector also suggesting that you need to use the DevTools of Chrome and Safari if you are inspecting any of the web views. And we have seen that also, how to do that. I will show you that as well. WebDriver IO, and then you can go back to the inspect element, and you can go to the mobile view here, and you can choose any mobile here. Now for me it is Android, right? So I can choose any Android simulator mocking, and I will go to this, and you see the same. Now let's say that I want to click on this menu item, and you can see that there are, like, you can visualize the HTML DOM, you can use the area level here, and if you're not sure if it is really working fine or not, you can use the selectors hub for this web view, and you can really check it. Now for an instance, I'll go this, and you can see that it is detecting. Like that you can do. Like for an instance, I'll go on this, I'll click on this theme, I will change it, close button, and then come back here, and then I will be clicking on this get started button, and then I will be moving into the login view. Why it is not going? Yes, and then I will be entering something. Let's say that this entire flow we will try to automate it. So now we understood how to really get the hybrid demo application, how to install it, and use the Appium Inspector with a proper Appium command. Now the final thing is to write the code and execute it. So for this I will be going to IntelliJ editor, and I will be copy pasting my previous code which we have done for the iOS. I will paste it, and this time I'll just say that Android. Okay, I need to change actually this, because it is Android, right? So I don't want to use the execute test options. It has to be UI Automator 2 options. We have already seen that in our previous sessions. Now let me just quickly copy paste that. I have this ready made. So I'll just copy paste this one, and UI Automator 2 option, you can import it. Everything else is self-understandable. And on this I will just go for Android driver, and this one is Android driver, rest everything is same. Okay, now see, okay, how do I get the current context? You can use the same only driver.getContext. So this getContext method is available for Android driver and also for iOS driver as well. So you can use it as it is, and you can get the getContext handles. It means that you will get this different views, like if you go to this web view, you will get the native views and also the web view. That is what I am capturing it. Now see, by this moment, right, I haven't really clicked on this web view. It is still into the home screen only. So it means that these two things will give you the output as a native app only. But I'm going to click on this particular web view. Now we can inspect this by using the Appium Inspector. So this should be same actually. There is no difference, because now this demo application has maintained the same accessibility ID for Android and iOS applications, so that you don't need to spend a lot of time into identifying their controls differently. So I'm sure that it is the accessibility ID is web view, to click on this particular button actually here. Okay, so I'm doing that. I'm waiting for 3 seconds, then I'm capturing the handles. So here it will give only native app. Here it will be giving two different contexts. One is the native app and another is this particular WebDriver IO, this one. I don't know why it is not capturing this. Probably this is because I have chosen this WebDriver IO, right? If I go to the native app, probably yeah. So that is how. Okay, I didn't even observe that. Okay, so whenever you are going into the WebDriver IO, you can choose that. But as I told, I'm not recommending to really rely completely on this Appium inspector to inspect the web views. Always go with the desktop browsers only. Okay, now I have clicked on this web view. Now let's go back to the web view to, like, if I go here, like this menu option, right? I told that this one we can use it. Now this is actually I can take as CSS selector, let's say. So here after clicking on this web view, right? And after that I will be getting two context. So I'm capturing that into a handles set. And then after that I'm switching to the web view after clicking on the web view, and I'm waiting for some time, and once I'm switching that I'm getting the current context, so that I should see the web view only. After that I will be clicking on that menu option. This is my iOS one, right? But I will be doing it differently this time. So I will click on this, and instead of this double quote you can just have the single quote only. Okay, so CSS selector, so it means that you are clicking on this particular option here. After that you will click on this particular theme icon, okay, or the dark theme or light theme. You can see this button. Now this button has this class, so I can simply copy. You can use this, and here you can simply try it if this is really working. Okay, here you give single, and you can see two different options it is giving. Now let me see that how to really getting the unique. You can even use this one also as part of that. So oops, sorry, not here. Yeah, you can get it this one view. So always use the single quote because your code will not allow. Selectors have its intelligence, so it takes whether it is a single quote or double quote. So I will copy this one to change the theme. So here I will wait for 2 seconds. As usual, I told don't really rely on the thread.sleeps. For demo purpose I am taking this, but in real time you have to make sure that you are using the explicit wait extensively. So this above is to click the theme button. Okay, now I'm clicking on the theme button, so it will change to something. Then I am getting out of that. So this close button I need to inspect it, and you can see that, see, always what it is doing, it is going inside that. So you can even look into the parent element. Like here I think I was looking into this, and you can see this area level you can use it. These are websites, right? We don't have control what locators they are giving, but in your real time applications you can ask your developer to give some reliable locators there. So by CSS selector, and then you can give that, and you change that to single quote and use the format properly. Okay, like this, and you say that dot click. Fine. So now it is closing this menu item, and after that you can even go back to this get started button. If you remember in our iOS session also we have already identified, so I'm no longer will be going to again give the same concept only. Then we have even identified these options as well, like going into the login and then clicking on this email field and entering some value. So I will be copy pasting the iOS code directly. Like if I go to this iOS code, right, these things are pretty much similar. I think I copy pasted, so it should be here, right? Yeah, you can see that everything is there. So it will close the navigation bar. Then okay, I will be clicking this one. This is not there, I've deleted this, so I will be copy pasting. And this is nothing but this getting started button. Like if you come back here, this get started button, and it will wait for some time. Then See, this entire thing is web view. This entire thing is web view actually. Once all of your testing is completed, then you are switching back to the native app and you are clicking on the email field or that email toggle bottom navigation bar, and you are entering something there. Then you are quitting your application, stopping your Appium server. Okay, see, only when you are going to inspect the element, that time that Appium command line is required. But for executing, you can use the same Appium server .start, which we have seen like into this session, right? This is very common for your Android or iOS automation. Fine, so I'll go back here. I think I should be closing this app. I will stop my Appium inspector as well. I don't even need this particular Appium server to run it. So I'm Control C, clearing everything and closing my terminal as well. Now I will be running this particular test, and let's put this side by side. So as you can see, it is clicking on the web view, it is going into the web view. If everything goes fine, yes, and it should change the theme. Okay, I think it didn't change that theme. Okay, so it did everything, but it didn't really click on that particular theme color and close that. So this is to click on the theme button, right? You know what, I simply identified that, but I didn't really click event. So no click event was there. That's why it was just going to the menu option and then it was closing that. But this theme was not changing. No worries. Let's again run it. And now it is going to the web view. Okay, it should now click on the theme. Yup, you can see it converted to dark theme, and then going to the getting started, then it should click on the login and qavbox as your login. That's it. And then it closed your mobile application and it should pass my test case as well. So yeah, that's pretty much actually you can use it like you can go back from native to web view, from web view to native, and like that you can do. And you can see that I haven't really hard coded the web view because web view is always dynamic in nature. Depending on what kind of web view you are adding, the name will be different. So that's why we are making sure that from the get context handles, the set whatever it is coming, right, you go to the second index value. That is nothing but a web view. We know that already. Okay, so that's pretty much it for the Android hybrid application handling and identifying. And you can take, there are a lot of different Android demo applications are there which are hybrid. You can just work on that. I think in the last session we have told, right, there are certain applications where there would be a button or link. If you click it, it might go to your Chrome browser, like how in iPhone it is going to the Safari browser. That time also the same concept. You have to get the current context, switch to that context, and then you can automate it. So the beauty of Appium is that it detects already what is the current context it can have by using the get context handles. So by using that, you can grab that particular set of strings and you can go back. And you should be knowing actually at what instance it is going from native to web view, then only you can automate it. You cannot make it as dynamic that throughout my execution you detect it. If it is a web view, then only you do that, which is very hard to handle it. So you should be knowing which button click, where exactly you are going to navigate it, then you come back. It's pretty much similar to your multiple window handles in Selenium. Okay, so that's pretty much it for today. Hope this session is useful. So stay tuned and do subscribe to this YouTube channel if you haven't. Thank you for watching.